Bob's speech today comes from the Entertaining Speaker, a manual in the Advanced Communication series, found present, containing information about preparing and delivering an entertaining speech, finding good stories, anecdotes to include in speeches, using humor, incorporating drama into presentation. Bob Glickman.
Thank you so much. Killing audiences for a living. Well, that's what I do, more or less. But what happens when someone kicks the bucket while you're performing? How does a performer come to terms with this, especially when the performance is created to inspire emotion of joy and pleasure? Does this mean that a performance is a tragedy? Or can some good come out of this? Well, we have to go sooner or later. Most of us want to die in our sleep. Some of us want to have a ball before that happens, and then it's all right, let's go. Friends, applause, and comedy ends. Beethoven's last words. That was a great game of golf, fellas. That was Bing Crosby's last words. I want to die happy, Charles Fox. I want to go out in a blaze of glory, John Dillinger. How prophetic. Well, to keep cool under these circumstances, I have to get in the right mindset. So if someone passes away, I say, well, that person's just nodding off. This happened before in the room. Or that's why they say I'm killing an audience. Or the audience is dying to see us perform. Or we're bringing the house down. Or, boy, what a dead crowd. Well, my wife and I were fortunate enough to make show business our career for over 30 years. And in that time, we've only seen 3 people pass on during our performances.
Wow.
It's true.
Oh.
Now, I always had a problem taking audiences too seriously. If somebody left during my performance, I would say immediately that that person's leaving because of my music, and I'm the one that's making him ill. God forbid if that person passes away while I'm performing, I feel like I should be arrested for manslaughter, cruel and abusive punishment. But my wife, God bless her, she said to me, Bob, that's my name, she said, there are 20 other reasons why that person left the performance, and your music is the 21st. What a relief.
Yeah.
So clear of all crimes and worries, I was honoring myself, and I went into my profession with unbridled passion. Now, before I say we played Happily Ever After, I need to deal with those 3 particular incidents. So I want to share that with you. You see, the success of these crimes, boy, you're running a tight ship today, aren't you? First incident happened on the River Ship Romance on the Sanford. The second happened at a bar mitzvah, Rick Ethic or Ruth Eckerd Hall. The heck with it, it was at an auditorium in Clearwater. And finally, the last one was in Orlando at the Citrus Club. So let's start with the one in Orlando, or in Sanford, at the River Ship Romance. We were performing, and this slightly overweight lady came up and perspiring, and she started singing and dancing with us, short of breath. She should have sat down, but she didn't. And finally, when she did sit down, she had a smile on her face. And if she wanted to go out in style, she hit the jackpot, in my estimation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we didn't expect a happy ending with that. That was the first. That was my first. You know, life happens. I had different thoughts on my second meeting, and that was at Ruth Eckerd Hall at a bar mitzvah. We actually saw a doctor put his face. What's wrong with the doctor? Ricardo, I'm going to speak to you afterwards. I didn't pay but we saw this man just expire at the table. And all of a sudden, things started getting weird. And some people try to control the party. One side says, keep playing, keep playing. Some people don't notice. Don't notice. Are you kidding me? And then the others come up and say, stop playing out of respect. Hey, why aren't you keeping playing? Stop playing. Starting in. So I would have to say that we were really unprepared for this. We never rehearsed for a situation like this before. So the irony was there were at least 20 doctors at this party. And they couldn't save him. And he himself was a doctor. He couldn't save himself. Well, the third incident was really a soap opera. You see, we played for this really wealthy family, and they were having a wedding at the Citrus Club. Well, just a month before the wedding, they canceled us, fired us. No pay. I had to call the band saying you're out of work. Why? Because the band they originally wanted from Miami was now available for them. So they dropped us like a hot potato. Well, we did the ceremony, and as we started doing just the cocktail hour, there was a measure of panic that was going around the room. The band hadn't showed up yet from Miami. So while tensions were growing, all of a sudden, you can't believe this, we saw a fireman start running into the main ballroom with oxygen and with masks and stretchers. Apparently they were responding to a call that the grandmother passed away at the buffet line.
Oh my God.
She was happy, she loved food. So at that time, I then started making calls, and at that moment, then the Miami band starts coming up, and then we start preparing for our musicians to come up. What a scene. This reminded me of the end of Blazing Saddles, if you remember that movie. It was crazy. Okay. The one thing, though, that transcends all, that these three people had something in common. Their last moments were spent at a happy occasion. Truly, the mask of comedy and tragedy are moments away from touching each other and becoming part of the melodrama called life. Show business. I yearn for a simple life behind a desk. Thank you very much.